Hey Japan Craft Beer Travelers, I'm Andrew from Taiheiyogan. I'm being joined by
George from TDM 1874.
Jamil Zainasheff from Heretic Brewing Company.
And neither of you two really need any introductions. And we're here at the American Craft Beer Experience 2018, run by the Brewers Association. And we have Mr. Bean behind the camera. Obviously, we're having a good time. So, how's things changed in the last year with craft beer in America here? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's hard to. It's like boiling a frog in water. It doesn't know it's being cooked alive, and the thing being that you just don't really realize the change until you look back with some perspective. So I could tell you, what was like 5 years ago, what's changed, but what's changed in the last year? What hasn't changed? I mean, it's constant change and constant development of new styles of beer and new breweries in the United States. 3 breweries a day are opening. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And so what's changed? I mean, what hasn't changed? And 10 years from now, I'll tell you what happened. But right now, I'm just one of those frogs in the pot being boiled.
Well, obviously,
Sounds like summer in Japan for me.
Yeah, it kind of is. Just slowly roasting.
Boiling your frogs?
Yeah.
Speaking of, I don't know, frogs, but New England's. New England IPAs. What are your thoughts on the style?
Well, I think, things become a style because people like them and, people brew a lot of them. I think New England IPA treads a very difficult line where, there was some popularity, but there were a lot of, it became trendy more than anything first. And so a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon that weren't making good beer, and there was a lot of half attenuated, really nasty beers coming out. And so a lot of people pushed back, going like, wait, this is horrible beer if this is what it's about. And then, people go, okay, well, definitely you don't want to make it that way. Let me make one that's fully attenuated. Let me make one that's, this, that, the other. And start making good examples and try and capture the spirit of what's in New England IPA and drop the bad habits that some brewers have and try and make something good. And so I think that enough brewers kind of got on board with that, and it's evolved and changed. And now I think, you get a lot of really good New England IPA or a lot of hazy IPA or juicy IPA. I think there's, a trend towards more, really thick, dense juice ones, which we call New England IPA. And then there's the lighter, hazy ones, which we just call a juicy IPA. So I think it's here to stay. And I think, if you brew a good example of it, it's tasty and it's lovely to drink, then, yeah, there's a way to go.
And we've got the Diablo.
Diablo? Primo Diablo.
Primo.
Right.
And we've had this.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting story on this. I don't know if I've ever told you this. This is, by the way, going to go like 3 hours. So if you're watching on the web, pause.
It's okay. Eric's wearing a diaper. It's fine.
Yeah. So on the Primo Diablo, we the thing I love about habaneros is not necessarily the heat, but it has a flavor to it that's kind of tropical and also kind of peppery and kind of peachy. And the first time, the problem with making habanero beer is that it gets too hot before you get the flavor. And so we were spending a lot of time cutting the peppers open and scraping out all the seeds and the veins, trying to reduce the heat, and then using it. And we still didn't get quite enough of the flavor that I wanted. And plus, it was a ton of extra work. So a friend of mine Travis, who's kind of a pepper savant. He told me about a pepper that was grown at the University of New Mexico. They had bred a habanero through years of trial to have no heat. So it had the flavor, but none of the heat. Of course, it was a horrible commercial failure, I think, because nobody wants a habanero that's not hot. I mean, what do you think? Right? But the flavor was amazing. It would make a killer salsa. You know, it was, but you need a little bit of heat. But
Was that the habanada?
no, it's the Suave. So they bred a whole line of Suave peppers, and it you know, again, it's the heat of a bell pepper. Really no heat. So I found some seeds. I got a local farm to grow them for me, and then we use a portion of those and a portion of regular habaneros, so we can control the amount of heat and the amount of the habanero flavor, and that way we can make a beer that's a lot more than just throwing habaneros in. It's actually you know, people love it because it's got flavor plus a bit of heat, and it costs us way more in time and effort and materials than the regular cousin, because it's made with cousin, the double IPA, but we don't charge any more for it. Just because we like to do things like that.
Yeah.
And of course, we have our own little pepper expert, kinda.
Enthusiasts, maybe not an expert.
Are you gonna make a pepper beer soon?
Well, I really want to. I made some really good chili beers as a home brewer as well. It's just whether Japan is really wanting to accept it outside of a kind of niche of a few people. Because at the end of the day, you've still got to sell that. Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, one of my, like Jamil was saying, trying to get that flavor, that beautiful flavor without the heat. One of my favorite chilies is Trinidad 7-pot yellows. And they're beautiful. They're like floral, pineapple, super fruity. But they've got the same heat as a ghost chili. They're just unbearably hot. And
like the Trinidad Scorpion or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of the one just down from the Scorpion, the 7 pots. And if I ever find a way of getting that flavor without the heat, then game on.
University of New Mexico, apparently they will spend years developing something that nobody wants.
Yeah.
Except brewers. Who want the flavor.
Well, and that might be one of the things that really, you know, adds to the pepper market is, you know, a lot of fruits now, a lot of fruit companies that were producing fruits for foods and for baking, they have kind of, you know, seen a huge jump in revenue as brewers start taking on a lot of fruit to use in their beers. It's been considerable. Peppers might be the same.
Yeah, especially right now in the States, that fruit puree is getting really in everything, right?
Yeah. It's hard to source now. Some instances, you know, it sells out.
Let's take a pause real quick. Get back into this in 2 seconds.
Okay.